Welcome back, folks. It's almost time to clean our brushes and pack away today's palette of inspiration. But before we do that, let's join leading professional artist and personal friend Jeremy Ford for his top tip for giving your pastel paintings the perfect professional finish. Enjoy.
What should you paint pastels on? What surface should you use? Should it be rough or smooth? Well, with chalk pastels you can work on a variety of surfaces, but there are some surfaces that are easier to work on than others. Some papers, you can't just work on any old paper. You need a paper that has a tooth or a grip, if you like, and the one that I favour is called Pastelmat, and it has a sort of a cork-like surface. It's smooth to the touch. It comes in 8 different colours, and this is a sort of a nice dark grey colour. And you can use some of the background colour maybe in your picture. If you're doing I don't know, a still life or a portrait or something, you could maybe decide on which colour you want for the background, or you can cover it completely. And I've got the dark grey colour here, and we can see with a sort of cobalt blue kind of colour. It covers very easily, and you can use your fingers to work it in. It doesn't feel rough to the touch at all. It's nice and smooth, and the nice thing about this paper is that you can work colours over the top. You can keep going backwards and forwards between dark colours and light colours, and when you first put the colour on, it doesn't smudge as much as you might expect it to. It's like a card, and so it doesn't crease unless you're really determined and you fold it. But some papers can be a little bit flimsy, and they can very easily catch, and you can get creases or marks in them. And on some of them, if you go over them with your finger, they smudge quite a long way, and you can see that isn't smudging much at all. So once you get used to that, then it's fine. Now, if I put some over there, you see how the light colour goes over the top of the dark colour quite easily. You can work it in. If you want to, you can even get rid of some of the pastel if you overdo it. But my preference is to start sparingly, not to put too much on to begin with, and then you can keep building it up, and that limits dust. If you do find that you're losing the grip on the paper, and you would have to put a lot of pastel on to do that, then you can get rid of some of it with a brush, and that will come off. You might just be able to see some of the dust appearing now. As I say, most of the time it's not necessary, because you can go over. The light colours will easily go over the dark colours, and the dark colours easily go over the light ones. And so you can build up layer upon layer upon layer of pastel. This paper really holds the pastel well, and it stays on there. So I generally don't use fixatives on this paper because the colours are made more intense with the spray, and I find that a picture can lose its subtlety if it's sprayed. It can change the colours too much. So maybe if you've not tried Pastelmat before, then try it on one of your own pastel pictures. It's a super paper. It's very, very forgiving. You can even wash it off as well if you need to, dry it and start again, or just keep going over it and over and over, and that will cover over it again. Work it in again. And you can keep going backwards and forwards, light against dark, dark against light, working through your picture step by step. So there are different colours. There are 8 different colours in the Pastelmat range. My pad has 5 different colours. I've chosen 5 of the 8 colours, but I use all of them. There's some subjects perhaps where you might want to use the colour of the paper for part of your picture. So you might choose a sandy colour if you were doing a beach scene, for example, and leave some of the colour of the paper for the sand. So there we are. I hope that's been helpful, and maybe give it a try yourself if you've not tried it. I'm sure you'll love it.
The surface on Jeremy's Pastelmat pads is smooth to the touch, and has great grip to give your pastel painting spectacular results every time. Remember, for great savings and unbeatable offers on all of your favourite brand name art products and supplies, visit saa.co.uk. Right, it's time to dip into the splash of paint post bag and solve a few more of your artistic dilemmas. Let's start with this one from Elizabeth Vernon, who asks, what exactly is uart paper? I've seen people on forums talking about it, but I'm not entirely sure what it is and why it's different to other papers. Uart is primarily a sanded pastel paper. It's beige in colour, but it comes with different textures and grains. From the roughest at 240 to 800, which is the finest bite and is ideal for superfine pastels or coloured pencil application. Interestingly, uart is also an interesting surface for wet media too. Many artists like to use it for watercolour and oil washes and underpaintings. With the grain remaining firmly in place, I mean you can go back and add pastels afterwards. I'd like to give you a quick demonstration of how it actually works. We've got two surfaces of the uart paper. This is a slightly rougher one. This is 800, this is the roughest one, and this is the smoothest one at 240. I've put a pale alizarin crimson wash over this. Now the watercolour paint goes on surprisingly smooth, and it dries really smooth as well, so it's a great surface to give texture and effect. I've got a blue pastel there. If I hold it flat and just come straight down, you can see it's got lovely texture, and of course it can be applied for many different effects. But if you need the detail, use the corner of the pastel and you can get nice lines. One really good feature about uart paper is that it actually almost does away with the need for a fixative, because the grain in the paper holds the actual pastel pigments quite nice. So that's the rough surface. You can also use your finger to blend, of course. On the smoother surface, you can see it's a totally different grain. This is great for like a wood grain effect, which is great for painting trees and that sort of thing. And again, fine lines will be a little bit crisper on the finer grain. So there you go, folks. That's the uart paper. And Ian Price has emailed in to ask, does black gesso work with acrylics? Yes, it works exactly the same as clear and white. Gesso is used to prime surfaces to seal it prior to painting. It also provides a surface for the paint to adhere to. It's well worth remembering that if you use black gesso, when painting colours over the top, they may be more muted due to a lack of reflective ground to illuminate the more transparent colours. Well, folks, that's all we've got time for today. We hope you've enjoyed getting closer to some of your favourite TV artists, and that we've encouraged you to try something new. Remember, if you want to share your work or interact with thousands of people who share your passion for painting, log on to www.saa.co.uk and look for the community tab. Join us next week when Fraser Scarf gets interactive with acrylics to create a stunning skyscape. And we have a ball with leading wildlife artist Pip McGarry as he demonstrates how light can affect your painting. And we'll be showcasing the works of SAA professional artist and tutor Gregory Wellman. Tune in next time for another splash of paint packed full of inspirational advice and top tips to support you on your artistic journey. See you soon.
If you'd like to receive a regular splash of paint, sign up to the SAA's free e-newsletter. Visit www.saa.co.uk. We'll make sure you get all the latest news, exclusive offers and events delivered direct to your desktop.